I look at what's happening in Ireland, and I know complicated relationship between the two countries, but what's happening to Ireland with mass migration is basically identical to what's happening here in Great Britain. And it's also happening in Australia and Canada and the US. It's so close, like almost precise. It's the same template. That cannot be what is that? What are the forces pushing that?
Well, I think we have to ask ourselves, why did the post-war elite think that this experiment with multiculturalism was a good idea?
Yes.
And I don't think any of them have ever really answered that question. I think, obviously, Ireland is a function of what's happening here. I mean, you've obviously got the wretched Northern Ireland Protocol, which morphed into the Windsor Agreement, which is shocking division of the United Kingdom, which effectively was if you like, sacrificed on the altar of Brexit. But on the multiculturalism, and again, this goes to, you probably know we've got a big...
Can I repeat what you just said? Because I think I want the question to hang in the air. Why did the post-war elite, I think I'm quoting you, decide that this multiculturalism experiment was a good idea?
I don't know. I think it's a thoroughly bad idea. I like
so obviously
nation states who interface with each other, who respect each other, who respect each other's culture, and who basically, interface with each other like that to try and create this. And again, does it go to the World Economic Forum? Is it the Bilderbergers? Is it the Council on Foreign Relations? Look, where does the truth lie? I mean, I find it, probably like you do, incredibly difficult to work out where the truth lies often in our modern age. Most people want to live a healthy life centered around their community and their family, and they want to, be able to wake up in the morning and feel that they've done the right thing by everybody. But it does seem that there is this malign agenda to break down families, to break down communities, to create this multicultural world where I guess arguably a small global elite are able to exert undue influence on how everybody else leads their lives. That's the only solution I can come up with with my limited intellect, but it doesn't add up, does it? It doesn't make sense.
Honestly, it doesn't. And I remember hearing people 30 years ago hint that there was some multinational or pan-global conspiracy from the groups you just mentioned, and thinking this is obviously a mentally ill person talking. And now you just watch the accumulated evidence is overwhelming. This is not organic. It's not the product of democracy.
It's not in the interest of our country. It's not in the interest of your country.
And no one wants it.
It's not in the interest of Ireland, and none of the electorate want it. So
how are we getting it all at the same time?
Well, it's a very good question, Tucker. I just don't know the answer to that. But what I do know is the people who care about it happening need to now coalesce and actually start to show those people who are perpetrating this on us that they don't want it. And if that means that they get turfed out of power, that's what's got to happen. We've got to turf them out of power and make common sense prevail. It's common sense we're lacking everywhere. But I think there are, as I said, there are some signs that that in the US, people are beginning to address it and people are beginning to take action. But it's like walking through glue, isn't it? I mean, there's this malign power base that doesn't lie down very easily, and it's always there, waiting to pounce again.
One of maybe the biggest factors scrambling every one of these calculations and eliminating the historical knowledge that you just displayed is mass migration. This is very true in the United States as well. It's not just here, it's throughout the West. But what is that? That is the one thing that I notice as a foreigner coming here that does not change regardless of who's in power, is this constant churn in population, millions of new people. There's never been any indication that Native Britons want that. No Native Americans, no one in the United States wants that. We've gotten it anyway. In my country, they used to say, we need to do this for economic reasons. We need the labor. They don't say that anymore. No one explains why this is happening. Why is it happening here? What's your guess?
Well, I think the essence of immigration is that targeted immigration is good. So if you have a leadership of the country that can identify where skills are short,
Right.
And you can actually attract people who've got those skills who are going to contribute to the economy. And actually,
we have no dentists. Let's import some dentists.
Exactly. But you need to have a leadership who's capable of identifying where the shortages are. And that's good immigration. It's targeted, it's small, and it basically improves the standard of living and the quality of life for the people in the country.
Is that happening here now?
No, I was just going to go on to say that what's happened here is it's actually been turned on its head. So what we're doing is we are allowing millions or hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants from different cultures to arrive by boat. And really, since the war, we've also brought in lots of legal migrants who have, in some cases, contributed, but in many cases, they still haven't integrated into what Britain is and what, we are a Christian country, we have our history, we have our roots, and now we've got sort of pools of people from a different culture with a different belief and a different sort of outlook on life. And that's getting worse. So we are now, and you're seeing this, we're now seeing our best people leaving Britain. So the rainmakers are leaving in huge numbers now. The non-doms who used to be here are now have been taxed, and they're leaving. They don't have to be here. As you know, in the modern world, you can basically do a job from almost anywhere in the world. And what you have to do is create the conditions where people want to live somewhere. And 10, 15, 20 years ago, everybody wanted to be in London. When I was young, London was the place to be because it was deregulated, it was fun, people actually could generate wealth. You didn't have too much oppressive regulation and statism. And gradually it's been strangled a bit like Gulliver. So I think a lot of people, and a lot of my friends are leaving. They're going to live in Dubai, they're going to live in Milan, they're going to live in
Montenegro.
Could be Montenegro, it could be almost Mauritius, it could be almost anywhere. We just sent a whole load of English money out to Mauritius. I mean, they're getting tax cuts out there. So, we've given the Chagos Islands away when we didn't need to. We've sort of, I think, perpetrated.
Mauritius is an island in the Indian Ocean, far, far, far away.
Mauritius is an island in the Indian Ocean, but the Chagos Islands, basically a lot of Chagosians live in Crawley here. And they didn't want to be part of Mauritius. And what's happened is Keir Starmer and Herma and Philippe Sands, this sort of bunch of human rights lawyers, you may or may not know the history. We actually paid Mauritius some money in 1963 when we gave her independence, so that she had no claim on the Chagos Islands. Arguably the Seychelles and the Maldives have a bigger claim on the Chagos Islands that are 1,300 kilometers away from Mauritius. But these human rights lawyers have indulged their fantasies, and at the expense of the British taxpayer. I mean, we don't quite know what the number is. It's somewhere between 18 and 30 billion over the next 90 years. We've literally handed that to Mauritius, who've now given a tax cut to their citizens on the back of it.
Have you committed a lot of atrocities in Mauritius?
No.
Why would you owe them billions of dollars?
It's all about the Diego Garcia base.
I know the actual story.
But the Chagosians, a lot of them live in Crawley here. So, they didn't want the deal to happen. They basically don't like the Mauritians.
But if you take 3 steps back, why would you do that? You would only do that if you hate yourself. There's no potential for gain at all for you, your children, your country. What is that?
Well, I think a lot of them do dislike what Britain was. I think they have this sort of hatred of colonial Britain, which, I mean, if you have a hatred of any form of colonialism, you have to have a hatred of the Belgian a sort of colonization of the Congo,
the Zulu Empire, or
even France's occupation of North Africa. So,
they occupy Africa to this day.
They do. No, they do. They do. Yeah, absolutely. But I think Britain may have done some things that weren't great, but on the whole, we've, I think, been a force for good. We've left, sound legal systems in India. We've done good things, not bad things. We voluntarily ended the slave trade. We actually cost us a lot of money. The British Navy was used to police the cessation of the slave trade. So I feel very proud of Britain. I love Britain, and I think these people, these human rights lawyers, I actually despise them, Tucker. I think they're the enemy of Britain, and I don't understand what motivates them.
Well, so that's it. It's clearly not a hatred of colonialism, because Africa has been colonized at a scale never before seen by China. And they won't say a single word about that. I mean, colonialism will never end. The weak dominating the strong is just a feature of life. It's sad, but that's what it is. They're not mad about that. They're only mad about the West.
Christmas season is here, and although it's a bit of a cliche, it really is important to keep Christ in Christmas. Should we focus on cookies and presents or on the reason we're doing this, which is Jesus? Obviously, the point is Jesus. That's the whole point. That's the only point. And all of the decency and good cheer of this holiday comes from Jesus. The Hallow App's Pray 25 Challenge reminds us of that. It features Chris Pratt, Gwen Stefani, our friend Jonathan Rumi, and many others. This 25-day challenge guides you through Advent and helps you keep your focus on the true reason for the season, Jesus. Experience the nativity story where Jesus brought peace and calm to a world in chaos. And that's exactly what we need right now, is peace and calm and still. And Jesus is the only one who brings it, period. Hallow is thousands of prayers and meditations and music to help you connect with God all through Christmas and after, including several Christmas original songs and albums. There's a whole world on Hallow. It's like unbelievable. It's changed our family's life. Check it out. You will not regret it. Get 3 months for free at hallow.com/Tucker. Experience greater peace and stillness this Christmas.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.